HWO hospital released statements about the new virus due to the observation of 10 patients who have the same symptoms as one another. An hour later, HWO hospital released another statement regarding the 10 patients passing at the exact same time. Another hour, civilians started to notice that a tree-like monster started to come out of the hospital and started attacking them. The government issued a law of general quarantine throughout the whole country. The government assigned different departments to investigate the issue. A veteran soldier named Phil discovered that his father was kidnapped by monsters, and so Phil volunteered along with his two best friends, Kate and Link. For the best of friends, they would do anything for each other, and when they too knew about the news about Phil's father, they immediately agreed to volunteer. The three met up at the city square of villains to personally talk about the problem. Initiated the conversation first. "I'm so sorry for the situation that you have right now, Phil." Phil interrupted. Up. No, it might be harsh and not good, but it will be okay. We'll save my father and the other victims. Kate butt into the two. "Anyways, here's the layout of our plan. Since there are only 10 monsters that we know of, I have our weapons ready for exactly 10 monsters. After we kill them, we will go directly to the hospital, find the creator, kill them, and rescue the prisoners. I hope it's easy, like how I said it." Omar retorted, "But what if there's more monsters?" Phil replied, "Then we have to get captured and try to infiltrate the inside and make a plan there." Kate sighted a monster from the inside of the hospital. They got their weapons ready and their plan. Kate said, "Brace yourself, get ready to aim, and 1, 2, 3. A monster came up to them and the friends started shooting towards them. One monster dead, another one dead, and another one and another one. They shot a total of 10 monsters and their ammo was already finished. They thought that was the end, but the monster kept on coming and coming from the hospital and the 3 friends were captured and now are forced to stay away from each other. But as planned earlier, they were somehow going to communicate with each other, their phones, and decided different plans in order to defeat the monsters, even though they were now prisoners. Five months had passed since the eventful capture had happened. The 3 friends have discovered hundreds and hundreds of information about the monsters. The monsters were called Dryad. Their sole purpose was to annihilate the entire human population, leaving only them and their creator. At the 5 months, different rebellions have been attempted, but alas, none of the rebels had survived. The hospital was now filled with humans waiting to be killed, but the 3 friends were not backing down. Instead, they planned a whole nother rebellion to the different parts of the hospital where they were. They readied their weapons and ready to risk their life for a better future. Omar was in the bottom part of the hospital with his subordinates. Their goal was to kill all the monsters in order to make a base in the hospital to charge on Dryads from the outside. Omar, the leader of the bottom prisoners, stated to his subordinates, "We might not live for tomorrow, but we will still strive for a better future. Let us have a revolution to get our freedom back." Due to the death of the monsters, 10 injured civilians, they survived the first phase. After knowing the successful revolt, Kate and her subordinates were ready to raid the upper part of the building. One monster down, another one and another one. They killed 50 monsters in total. And so Kate quickly texted Phil. And as Phil was getting ready for their message, Phil started to raid the middle part of the hospital. Despite having many injured civilians, there were no casualties at their part, and so the whole hospital was now their base, and they were ready to kill the Dryad from the outside. Suddenly, one casualty led to 20 casualties. They were forgetting about something, more so someone, the scientist who started this all, the creator. Phil directly raided the outside with his friends, covering for him to go to the other side. Phil went inside the building to confront the scientist. He went to every room, every corner, until he found himself in a laboratory. He came across in what seems to be tubes filled with the human body for what he would assume that is for an experiment. Right down the corner of his eye, he saw his father inside one of those tubes, and frantically tried to find a device that could stop this all. Suddenly, there was a figure in the door, their shadows alerting Phil with their presence. The figure spoke. "I see that you have found my secret laboratory." Phil screeched, "You monster!" And the scientist took that as a compliment, and so he said, "Thank you." Phil retorted, "What did you do to my father?" "That's nothing much, just making him unconscious," the scientist replied nonchalantly. Phil ran towards the scientist and grabbed his coat. He raises his knife into his neck in a threatening way. He says, "Don't you dare hurt my family." Huh. The scientist smirked. "If you're going to kill me right now, you won't ever have a chance to ever see your father's walking posture ever again." Phil looked at him menacingly. "I'm going to kill you," the scientist questioned. "You would trade your only family for the whole world?" Phil replied. "He would want me to." Splattered everywhere from the knife that has gone to the neck of the scientists resulted to the disappearance of the monsters, the disappearance of the damages too. People cheered. Everything was now
Thousands
back
of
in
voices
normal, saying that they have finally got their freedom back. And that was the end of the tale of the Dryad. And so you have come to the premise of the story. This is all about how we came up with the story and or rather what is the goal that the story that wants to accomplish. So the main topic of the whole story in general is about sacrifice. We need to sacrifice something in order to achieve something, in order to lessen problems such as in the situation times sacrificing our future plans, traveling, and physical contact from one another that belongs for. But for what cost? The cost of lives of people. We sacrifice things in order to help people from being able to live, to prevent any death from happening. And so the premise of the story is all about sacrifices, like how Phil sacrifices his father in order for the world to have the freedom that they longs for. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the story, and thank you so much for accommodating. Yeah. Stay safe and God bless.